Was the worst year for a lot of us for our mental as well as physical health. So joining us this morning is best-selling author, coach Lisa Goldenthal.
Hello and welcome. I'm Lisa G, your host. You're at the top of your game, yet the game is changing faster than ever. Strategies that got you here aren't the ones that'll keep you here. The pressure is relentless, and the fear of obsolescence looms large. That's why I'm here. Welcome to the new podcast series, Disrupted: How to Be Gritty and Unlock Performance in Business, Mindset, Wellness, and Success to help you master disruption.
Thanks for coming, and I'll see you soon.
She's a human being coach, an executive strategy, leadership, and change coach, and consultant too, working with organizations, teams, and leaders at a deep human level, focusing on people to lead with confidence, purpose, and impact, creating strong relationships, networks, deal with conflict in a positive way, and build high-performing teams to share a purpose and lead with influence. She's led key organizational projects throughout her career, is a Global Honoree and a top leadership podcaster. Dr. Jo Cresswell, welcome.
Thank you, Lisa, and thank you for that introduction. It's lovely to be here.
I'm so happy to have you. I know we know each other from LinkedIn, and it's such an honor to work with you here. Let's start with it. How can we create a daring mindset?
So it's all about what's the difference. It's what's the difference you want to make. And for me, it's going really big with that. So it's kind of getting out of what I call, playing it small, keeping ourselves safe, all of that kind of thing, all those doubts, all those fears. And it's actually creating a purpose, creating an idea so big and so important that it's more important to you than your fears. So that's where the daring comes in. And daring it's a state of being, as well as kind of a framework that then helps you do it.
Well, I know we even talked briefly about you jumping outside of your comfort zone, and I know we've all had to jump outside of our comfort zone with you jumping into an event that you're going to be at. Is that correct?
Yes. So the trouble with being all about the daring mindset is you also have to be daring. You can't talk about it. So I've very recently gone massively out of my comfort zone. I've signed up to be a speaker and exhibitor at a training expo for businesses. This is the first time I've done anything like that. And as I was saying to you earlier, it's terrifying, but it's really exciting. Well, and so that's how you know it's daring.
But daring, I love it. And I love how you lead by example, because people watch what you do, not what you say. And I know you speak also to the powerful human connections. And I love that, especially with all the remote work we're all doing. Do you want to speak to that a little bit about how can we be unstoppable in this work from home environment by creating powerful human connections?
Yes. And I think that for me is the thing. I used to work full time. Now I pivoted and I work in a business, and it has been those human connections that has helped me. I couldn't have done it without those. And so, being in networks with people like you, surrounding myself with these amazing people. And it doesn't have to be all about business. I've been in some fantastic networks that have supported my business, but also support me personally. And I think it's having those people who will stretch you, and again, I hugely admire what you do. And it's fantastic to be in these networks of people who inspire and stretch, but who also you can turn up and just hold your hand up and say, today I just don't feel daring, help me. And the amount of support has been incredible. So that's the thing I would say to anybody doing anything really is be with the right people, be with the people who are stretching you, but who will support you. And, you know, human connection is one of the most important things for us as human beings. And the remote working, COVID, everything, it's kind of isolated people. And but the beauty of, you know, this kind of expanded networking is that, you know, now I talk to people all over the world. I work with people all over the world. And that has just massively extended what I believe is possible. So that for me, you know, you were talking about being unstoppable, and that for me is probably the key to all of it, is actually being around unstoppable people.
I agree. And thanks for including me in that category. I know we're a part of a network on LinkedIn where it's really been so wonderful and fun. And I love the distinction that you make where it's about supporting you in your personal life and your business. Like, mental health has taken such a hit with all this isolation. I don't think humans are meant to be isolated. So I think the power of the connections when you're not feeling like 100%, like you don't have to pretend like I'm this big leader, you know, it's great that we can all support each other through the ups and downs, because for me, I know as an entrepreneur, it's never a straight shot. There's all these bumpy roads and ups and downs, and having community and support and humans means the world to me as well.
Yeah, and it's everything. You know, I burnt out, I was very isolated, and it's a lot of my decisions and where I'm going now and how I'm growing is because of the connections I've made.
That's wonderful. I think our network as our net worth, and we all need to not be all about the sale. About a lot of people are about the sale, but about supporting each other and genuinely meeting and connecting. And also too, I wanted to ask, I know you mentioned that you've burned out before, and we all have, you know, it's been a really hard time the last couple of years for anybody. So why do we need to stop sometimes?
Yes. So when you said sort of, you know, three things to be unstoppable, and just the thing that came to me last was just stop. Because, and again, it's on different levels, because firstly, it's make sure you're being unstoppable in the right direction.
Right.
You know, I was, and this was partly what led to my burnout, was I was going for a particular career path because I thought that's what you should do. So I was going for it, you know, with all of my drive and all of my persistence, everything. And then I just came to kind of a crashing halt when I thought, why do I want this? This is horrible. It's not for me.
Right.
So that was one. So that's when I sort of paused, if you like, and then tried to carry on. And that's when I ended up burning out. And I would recommend people sort of pause before burning out, because it's not fun. And I was all ready to get back on that same path when COVID happened. And kind of all of my options and all the jobs I had lined up went away, which absolutely forced me to kind of go, right, what is it I want to do? So that's one thing, is occasionally just stop, pause, check around you. Is what was working for you 10 years ago what you want now? And I think the other one, exactly like you said, was, you know, stop every now and then and recharge your battery. You know, you think about the high performance Tesla cars, you know, they will go like the wind, but they need to recharge occasionally. And so that's something I've focused on very much, is that kind of, it's the mindset, it's connecting with, particularly for entrepreneurs and you know, high performing business people, it's stopping, pausing, reflecting. That is working on your business,
Right.
because that allows in creativity. So that's why, yes, to be unstoppable, I say stop sometimes.
I love that. I love stop to be unstoppable, because I know for me personally, I've hit burnout levels before, and it's always when I take time off and even work remotely somewhere, like you, it seems like are working remotely right now. And
I am. I'm running my business technically by the poolside in Barbados, but it's raining, so I'm indoors. But yeah, so this is my first sort of go at kind of combining that working from anywhere with a vacation. and it's
Wow.
working so well. I'm just really in flow.
That was so helpful for me too. I know stopping to be unstoppable. I love that because it's only to me, like when I get on a plane, I get a different vantage point, a higher point of view. And I think it's about a year and a half ago, I was just after all COVID really burnt out of just like being here working. And I had the opportunity to be in the Hamptons at a friend's house working there. And it changed the world for me because I was like, wow, there's such a silver lining that we've both experienced in COVID of when everything changes, you have to change and it's for the better. And all of a sudden, I used to always think, well, I have to get back to work. I have to get back to work. I'm going to leave in a few days. And my friend was like, where are you going? Why are you leaving? And I was like, wait, you bring up a good point. She's like, stay. So I had never really been that person to stay for extended points of time. I know you Europeans are always good about that, but for me, it was life changing, and I'm really loving this silver lining. Any final thoughts you want to leave our audience with on being unstoppable?
I think it's just have trust and faith in yourself and the universe and the people around you. So, there are days when you're not going to feel unstoppable.
Right.
But for me, it's show up. And that may be show up in terms of resting, but whatever you're doing, do it with purpose. But show up, even when you don't feel like it, even if you do 10 minutes, 15 minutes, the smallest possible action, just keep showing up and keep trusting that you are sowing the seeds, laying those foundations, and it's going to happen, and it's going to happen better than you could have imagined. And I've had to do this. I've had to dig really deep in, starting off my business, and a few times it's just doubts have come in. But yeah, I think that's it, is the key to be unstoppable is to have that, the difference you want to make, hold on to that, make that more important than your fears so that you can show up every day.
Well, there's so many golden nuggets here. I hope you guys are taking some notes about the belief and stop to be unstoppable and to be on purpose. And I know we know each other on LinkedIn. Where can people find you with your podcast and all you're up to in the world?
Sure, LinkedIn. So Dr. Jo Cresswell, the Human Being Coach, and my podcast is Being Human in Life, Work and Leadership. And that's on pretty much all of the major platforms.
Wonderful. Thanks for being a wonderful guest, Dr. Jo.
Thank you. It's been fantastic to meet you.